everyone. My name is Brett Gladfelder, Vice President of Exhibitor Engagement at Map Your Show. Today, we have a special guest joining us from the American Sport Fishing Association, Blake Swango. Blake, thanks for spending a little time with us today.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Good to see you.
Good to see you as well. So, Blake, you are currently the Vice President of Trade Show and Membership at ASA. Is that correct? Okay, and ASA, for those of you that don't know, this is the the American Sport Fishing Association, and they're responsible for producing ICAST. So, Blake, can you tell us a little bit about your background in the trade show industry and your current role at ASA?
Sure. So straight out of college, I joined in with the National Association of Home Builders, took a position with them in their Builder 20 clubs, which produced anywhere from 20 to 30 small meetings around the nation and sometimes globally. So I was running quite a few meetings each year. I was on the road all the time. So I kind of got familiar with the hotel world and meeting world through that. But the travel got a little, it wore on me quite a bit, and met one of my good friends there, Jeff Cassidy, who's still at the Home Builders. So I think he's the SVP. And he told me that there was a position open in the Expo sales department. And he put my resume on their desk and was hired eventually by Mike Currier and Mark Purcell at the time, who were still good friends to this day. So that was probably about 2005 or 6, and I spent the next 13 years at Home Builders, learning about that show and traveling around to other industry and really learning the trade show industry. So very helpful to started my professional career there, but being there for so long, I started wondering where I was going to go with this. And working at such a prestigious event like the International Builder Show, it was going to take a little bit more to pull me away from what I was doing. So after a few years of looking, I saw ICAST, and it opened my eyes a little bit. And I said, this is a prestigious fishing event, and I love fishing. I said, what a better way to combine my professional career and passion for fishing all in one place. So Glenn Hughes, our president here at ASA, hired me in 2016 as the director of trade show, where I just ran the trade show, and that was anything that went on in and around the event. I was responsible for that in my department. So after a few years there, he promoted me to vice president of trade show and membership. It really just made sense. Anybody who does exhibit at ICAST does need to be a member of the American Sport Fishing Association. So kind of tied the two departments together, and it's been a pretty good marriage since.
Great. That's a pretty impressive background there. So right out of college, so the whole career in the event industry. You and I'm glad you ended up at ICAST. Obviously, we share that enthusiasm for the fishing industry, the community, and the sport in general. As I'm sure many of the people who are watching this are aware, I have a little bit of a fishing addiction myself. So ICAST obviously is one of my favorite events that we get to work with on an annual basis. So Blake, you're coming off your show just a couple of weeks ago, right? It's in July. It's in Orlando at the Orange Convention Center there. And I quote from your email that you sent me last week, it was the best show ever, right? So congratulations on that. Yeah. Well, congratulations on that. Can you talk a little bit about ICAST for the folks that may not be familiar with the event? Who makes up your exhibitor and your attendee base, and what's the show all about?
Sure. So ICAST encompasses everything that goes into a day out on the water. Anything from a fishing rod, lines, lures, coolers, sunglasses, apparel, footwear, you name it. If it's knives, if you need it on the water, it's going to be found at ICAST. So we're an international event. We had 80 countries this year. I think 81 was the final total, which was a new record for us. So we are the largest sport fishing trade show in the world. Saying that, the square footage, our net square footage this year was just over 207 net. While 2019 was our biggest event at 222, we've made a nice rebound from COVID and continue to build on that each year. So this year we had just about 13,000, let's just call it 500, a little under that. which is about 1,000 down from our peak in 2019. And a lot of that, from what I see, is still trying to get that international audience back. So still a great showing. We had 633 exhibitors. That's only 20 down from 2019. So another strong showing there. But the attendance is really made up of, I want to say, the who's who of the sport fishing community. I think Brett might agree with me, but it's the huge media outlets. It's the biggest retailers out there. Some that you might know, Cabela's, Big Five, Shields, all the way down to the mom and pops that you have one or two people working in those shops each day. So it's really, the large media is what we try to grab, and then obviously those large retailers that are selling that product for our manufacturers.
Right. So it truly is a B2B event. You don't have your average fisherman just walking up and down the aisles trying to pick out some tackle he's going to take out on the water with him the next day, right?
They try, but we do.
They
our
do
best
sneak in there. I know. I snuck in there before. Well, I may have been invited, but yeah, I'm. It's like a kid in a candy store kind of situation for guys like me down there.
You got it. So we do our best to keep it truly a B2B.
Okay, so the numbers are really coming back great. In terms of net square footage, total exhibitors. You're getting all your international attendance back. A lot of events we're seeing this are really roaring back from the pandemic. Things are recovering quickly, and the recovery's been very strong. Do you have any ideas or theories on that, why things have bounced back as well as they have for a lot of shows?
About other shows, but ICAST specifically, it's you got a touch and feel kind of product. In 2021, our membership was not going to postpone that show again. They were going to have that in person. They wanted to be back in person. And, while we didn't have 14,000, we nearly had 11,000, which was still pretty good for 2021. So ICAST is one of those things that people are, shaking hands, they're talking, they're seeing the community. It's truly just a, in-person event. And for us, we didn't take as big a hit, I don't think, as other shows. You might be able to talk to that, but we just, stayed relevant through all of it, and we're continuing to stay relevant going forward.
Yeah, well, I do think you're in a unique situation there because of your industry, where during COVID, your options were limited in what you could do, and a lot of that was getting outside and doing things outdoors that maybe you weren't doing in the past. So fishing in general, I think became more popular. So you had that advantage, of course. But the common theme that you touched on right there that I'm hearing from pretty much across the board from our events that we partner with is no one wanted to cancel again. Everybody wanted to go to the show. There was some moderate success with some of the digital and virtual things that people did over COVID, but everybody right down to the last person was very excited to get back to the in-person aspect of things. And it sounds like your shareholders or stakeholders are no different than what I'm hearing across other events.
And Map Your Show was able to help us stay relevant during the time where we couldn't meet in person, but helped us roll into our in-person event in 2021.
Yep. Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about the MYS partnership there. You're using our mobile app, boost sales modules, sponsorship sales, data collection from your exhibitors. We have, of course, all the front end facing tools, which would be like the online directory and the show planner. We're displaying your sessions in there. So in your mind, what are the advantages of keeping all of that technology, all of your trade show technology in the same ecosystem?
Yeah. And, I'll go back to probably 2008 or 2009 working at Home Builders when our friend Sid came in and introduced me to your platforms. While, we learned a lot about it then, when I came over to ICAST, I kind of looked at what we were doing here and I said, Map Your Show is such a perfect fit for such a small organization. Or I should say a small office. We only have 3 or 4 here on staff that produce this show. So Brett, you and I, started talking with not only just the floor plan in 2017, but in 2018, we really jumped into booth sales. The more I learned about what Map Your Show could do, the more I asked for the sponsorship integration. We went to your show planner, which was already there, but then, the mobile app, we were really able to utilize that, and everything is just updated automatically. All my numbers are in one spot, all my sponsorship sales, all my booth sales. It gives me one snapshot of what's going on at the show. So that's really, vital for a small office like us, is to have everything in one spot and be able to, do our reporting on that. But, I don't know, once we get into maybe some new product showcase stuff, I could touch on what you guys have done there.
Yeah, I definitely want to take a little bit of a deeper dive into that new product showcase, which now would be a great time to do that. But before we move on, I do want to say small but mighty. It's amazing that the four of you guys are able to accomplish an event like ICAST, because it is a huge event. There's a lot of things going on outside of the exhibit hall as well. You have on the water, you have other things happening there. So it's a big event. It's a complex event, and it's really impressive that you guys are able to pull that off with your staff. And we're just happy to help be a part of that and help support it. But as far as new product showcase goes, so we already established in the conversation that I'm a bit of a fishing enthusiast, and I can remember, this is going back years and years ago before I even came to Map Your Show. I'd be reading Marlin Magazine or Saltwater Sport Fishing, or one of these publications, and I would see in there products being advertised as best in show, right? And they'd have the ICAST badge on there. So I've been exposed to this for quite some time now. But when it comes to your new product showcase, this is something that is unique to ICAST, and I think some other event managers would really like to hear more about how it works and how important it is to your event.
Let's just start with how important it is. I mean, this new product showcase is it's the where you can see the latest and greatest innovations of tackle each year. I mean, the innovations that come out through our manufacturers year over year is just incredible. And then to see that in one place is really neat to see it come together. But what happens essentially is companies will insert their product into the new product showcase entry form, and then there are 37 categories, and we'll vote on those on Tuesday evening before the show actually opens. And it's just open to buyers, both wholesale and retail, and then media. Those are the only people that can vote on those products on Tuesday, and then again here on Wednesday morning until about noon. That evening, we will have our new product showcase. We call it the Industry Awards event, and we will award 37 categories this year. It changes every year based on new products that are coming out and the needs. On those 37 awards will go out. And then what we call is a bifurcated voting system. So those 37 products will go against each other the next day. And again, buyers and media are only the that can vote on those products. And then after that afternoon, we will crown the overall best of show winner. So, they receive, the winners of these categories receive so much media coverage, industry appreciation. I mean, these are truly industry awards, instant credibility. I'll tell a quick story. I'll make it pretty quick, but we had a new cooler company out of Alaska last year. Small guy calls me 3 weeks before the event. A lot of people think it's just large companies that are winning these awards, but he comes down, he exhibits. I said, this is truly something innovative. He walks home with the Best of Show award. So it has changed his life. I saw him this past few weeks, and to see where his business was last year compared to where it is now is pretty impressive, and rewarding for not only me, but I think our show. But that takes care of kind of the voting. I don't know if you want to get into the guts of it.
Yeah, no. So that's I really appreciate that anecdote too, because this new product showcase aspect of your event can really make you as a product manufacturer, as a little guy coming in there. If you get picked up as best in category or best in show, you're going to be in every major publication. You're going to be all across the internet, and you're going to have guys like Cabela's and Bass Pro Shops and Walmart, and anybody that's carrying sporting goods is going to be knocking on your door. So, and
he's in all of them. I think he even got somebody tried to buy him out, and I don't think he did.
Of course.
You know what? Good for him.
Right. So now, you're taking submissions prior to the show, right? And you said there's a form that people are filling out. How are you taking those submissions? And then I believe there's a vetting process too, right? There's some pretty strict requirements on
Yep.
whether or not you can be in the new product showcase.
Correct. So when I started, we were taking these forms over fax and email and then putting them into an Excel file. And I said, there's got to be a better way to do this. And so I got with you and your team, and we created a tile within the exhibitor dashboard, which is your new product showcase entry form. So it's all electronic now. All the categories can be dropped down, picked from. Your MSRP is put in there. There is a terms and condition that you will agree to, and then it will get put into your data collection reports within Map Your Show. So as those entries come in, we will take a look at them, make sure they have to be new to the market, in the calendar year. So January 1, 2023, they can't be advertised anywhere or sold at any distribution level. So we will make sure that they are truly new products. So we will go through that process and we'll approve or deny them based on what we can find in just a simple search process. Once those products are won for best category, best of show, we will go back and vet them again to make sure that they are truly innovative and conform to the rules of our new product showcase.
Gotcha. I didn't realize that there was a second round of vetting process after they've won best in category, best in show.
Well,
So
we got to make sure that the products are truly new, because
it gets competitive, right? Yeah, and then
Exactly.
exhibitors are policing that too, right? So the other exhibitors will call things out. I mean, it's a very competitive environment that you guys have created there, which is something that's really cool about it. So there is an area, right, that's pipe and draped off at the show itself. And these products are sitting on tables, or they're in cases, they're on shelves. Can you tell us a little bit about what that area looks like and some of the things that you've done recently to, I would say, add to that area and
Sure.
make it, a better experience really for the people that are in there checking this stuff out?
So yeah, it's about I think it's 120 by 140 footprint on our show floor, so it's pretty large. But of those 37 categories, those products will be displayed in different areas around the new product showcase. So it's a big intake process, and it's also bigger even to get that product back into those exhibitors' hands. One of the cool things we've done with Map Your Show over the past few years, and I'd say back in 2018, I asked Brett to do this, and he hesitated on me for a minute. But COVID kind of changed it. Is one of the issues we have with a lot of our products is you're looking at small eyes of fishing poles or threaders for line or something like that, and these products are sitting here on tables. And one of the biggest complaints we got was people can see my product, but they can't see what it does. So working with Map Your Show, we created a video platform, which that video people can submit, I think, up to a 5-minute video, and it'll live on not only online, it'll also live on the mobile app. And then we also put a QR code next to that product. So if somebody says, what the heck does this thing do? They can pull it up on their phone and it'll just show a demonstration of it. We also put that in the exhibitor's booth, that QR code. So if somebody wants to watch that video, they can do that. But one of the neater things we've done is I really wanted to bring the new product showcase to life. And, it was kind of stagnant at first. I shouldn't say stagnant. I mean, obviously a lot of excitement around it, but what we were able to do is take all the photos and videos that are submitted through Map Your Show's platform and pull them down, working with our Freeman partners, Freeman Digital. And they've created a software program that pulls all those products down, the company descriptions, the MSRPs, and it rotates through. I have 3 large video screens in the new product showcase, and then I also have them outside of the new product showcase. So you don't even have to be in the new product showcase to see what is actually in there. And, the showcase to me is just exposure. You don't necessarily have to win to get the attention of the media. And some people don't even try to win in there, but what they want is to get that product in front of the media. And all we're trying to do is to create an avenue to make that happen.
Right. Yeah. So that's one of the things that I think is really neat about what we're doing together there now is you can walk up to any little gadget. Maybe it's a little tool that ties knots, or it's some kind of new, fishing knife or fillet knife or something like that. And you're looking at it sitting there on the table, and that's great. But when you can actually scan a QR code right there on the spot with your phone, see it in action, and then say to yourself, okay, now that's innovative. That's really cool. I'm going to vote for this one for best in category. The way that works at your event is really kind of special, I think. So you just kind of touched on this a little bit with New Product Showcase, but there's a ton of product at your show. Not every one of them, is a fit for New Product Showcase, right? Obviously, because there's some strict requirements there, and there's tons of stuff that doesn't make it into the showcase. Now, we also, over the years, I think we've built out a pretty solid enhanced listing program, yep, right? Where exhibitors are able to, similar to what they're doing with New Product Showcase, they can upload brochures, catalogs, videos of their products in action. And we have a pretty good amount of participation in that. Over the years, it's only grown. So what role does the enhanced listing program play for your exhibitors, well, and your attendees in getting more ROI out of ICAST?
Growing each year. We're seeing more digital advertising. Print might be going down a little bit, but we still have our audience that's, very reliant on our show guide. They'll take that home and, that's their Bible for the rest of the year on what they're going to buy. But then you'll see everybody looking down at their phones on, finding where they're at, what exhibitor has what, sorting through products, sorting through the New Product Showcase. So it's very important to have that extra element. What's really cool, and I didn't think about this until yesterday, and, you and I had this call planned for a little bit, is we've been able to take this New Product Showcase and bring it out to the consumer market. And we thought to ourselves a few years ago, why stop at, just the trade? We want everybody to know about ICAST. We want everybody to know what products are in there. So what we have now is the Angler's Choice Awards. So that starts, August, a couple weeks from now. I forget. It goes for 10 days, and it's a voting process. And our exhibitors are now able to take, whatever they have in that, from all the brochures, all the videos, everything. They're sending this out to, their social media channels and getting them involved in for the consumer. So that's been really something nice to be able to have them use what you guys have produced to take ICAST not only to the consumers, but more of a worldwide market.
Oh, that's really cool. I didn't even realize that was going on. Didn't even know you're doing that.
I wonder if you did or not, but we started that last year, and the hits we saw on social, the hits that our manufacturers were seeing on social, and we're impressed with what we saw. But like you said, the brochures, the videos, the images of their new products that all live in there, they're able to take that and they're able to send it to their consumers or their retailers that maybe couldn't make it, or their media that couldn't make it, and they're still able to share what they're doing before, during, and after the show. Awesome.
That's really cool, and learn something every time I do one of these calls. But Blake Swango, thanks for your time today. Yep. It's really cool to see the way that you guys have been innovative in how you're applying, our technology and adding value to the show. You have, of course, New Product Showcase. Now you have the Angler's Choice Awards, getting a ton of exposure for your exhibitors with the media, and now, with the actual anglers themselves, the final users of the product. Yeah. So, really just creating a ton of value for your exhibitors and participating in the event and using the technology. So I think some really good takeaways here today, and really appreciate your time. Thanks a lot. It's all about ROI, and every time I get back from a show, it's what can we do better next year, and make sure ICAST is relevant next year and years to come. Yep, exactly. That's the name of the game. Thanks again, Blake. Appreciate your time, and have a great day. Talk to you soon.